Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that believes we are next in line to get called up to the main roster. This is Lost in the Midcard. Welcome. We are a day late. We are sorry for that, but we probably would have came to you with a special episode anyways due to some bad news that we received in the WWE this afternoon. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. And thanks to SpiderDuck.net, we are hosted there, and they allow us to be on iTunes. And so if you're not listening to us via iTunes or your favorite podcasting app, go to Facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Like us. Go to that iTunes link in the notes section of our page and subscribe to us. Throw some stars our way. Throw some comments our way. We'll appreciate that. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube as well. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Thursday, or in this case, Friday, and every Monday after the pay-per-view. As always, I am joined by my co-host on the Twitter at RawFShowtime, Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how are we doing this evening?
I'll be perfectly honest with you, JB. It hasn't been a good day. And some of our listeners might enjoy that because I know a lot of them enjoy it when I go off the rails and snap. So if I end up doing that a couple times and everybody enjoys it, then I guess all the better.
I guess it'll be a good show then.
Yeah,
you've
we'll
already
see how
told
it
me you're
goes.
gonna. You already told me you're gonna snap at one of our headlines today.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
That'll be interesting.
I'm not happy about.
I'm
not happy about a lot of things that have happened in the world of pro wrestling this week. So
I know.
I mean, that has nothing to do with my mood today. Trust me, I know. But yeah, let's just do it.
Well, we're gonna end on a high note when we end the show with NXT, which was awesome, and we'll talk a little more about WWE 2K16, which has now been out for over a week now. We'll talk to you about that, our thoughts, continued thoughts after another week with the game, and we'll continue to do so also throughout the next few weeks, and even throughout the year once news drops on DLC and everything like that. And anytime a patch happens, we'll give you some of the details of that, all that fun stuff with 2K16 as we dig deep into that game. Let's first get the bad news out of the way. Unfortunately, this afternoon we have learned that WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins has been. We knew that he was injured a couple of days ago in Dublin, but now we know the extent of his injury. Unfortunately, it is a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. That means Seth Rollins is going to be on the shelf from 6 to 9 months, depending on probably how well the surgeries go, how well he rehabs, how well if there's no setbacks. Because a lot of cases for athletes, that's an injury that'll put you out for a good year. But they think 6 to 9 months, due to the fact that our world heavyweight champion is out of action. He was supposed to go against Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. That is, of course, no longer a go. We'll get to what is going to happen there first, but Matt, go ahead and give us your thoughts with losing Seth Rollins.
How another one bites the dust. Really, what more can you say right now? The main,
it's like rain when it rains, it pours, right?
Yeah, the main event tier of the WWE roster right now is dropping like flies, due to whether it be in personal commitments, injuries, time off, whatever, however you want to look at it. The upper echelon of the WWE roster is being depleted by the day. And this is something that people have been talking about for years now, though. People have gone on record and on several occasions.
The what if question?
Well, yeah, it's the simple fact of you're not building for the future right now. And what's going to happen when the future arrives and you don't have anybody to fill that spot. And
Mhm.
that's kind of the situation WWE finds themselves in right now, because Vince McMahon has been too lazy and uncreative to create any new stars to rival John Cena in the past few years, and we're looking at pretty dire straits at this point right now. It's a bad situation all around. The only positive aspect you can look at it now is that WWE has no other choice but to create some new top tier talent. And the problem which lies there is, if you create this new top talent, they need to still be treated like top talent when the other guys
Mhm.
come back from injury.
Yeah,
Like they can't be important for 2 months and then, oh, okay, John Cena's back, so fuck these guys.
yeah, like Jack Swagger, for instance, a former world champion, by the way.
Dude. I'm not talking. No, no, I can't even fathom Jack Swagger being welcomed back into the main event title
No,
picture
I'm
right
talking
now.
about he was at the top.
Oh, okay, all
He
right.
was a world champion, and now look where he's headlining main events.
Yeah, okay. I get where I get where you're coming from there. All right.
Uh, and there's an apparent. This is good for the WWE, as there's an apparent tie now with Jonathan Coachman at ESPN, because it was the coach that broke
Yeah,
the
he
news
bro,
on.
that was a big news story
Hmm.
for Coach and essentially ESPN to break this afternoon.
Hmm.
Not only did they announce the injury, but they announced what WWE was going to do about it. That's
Uh,
kind of a big deal for the WWE ESPN relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Jonathan Coachman, for those that may be newer to WWE, Coachman was a color commentator, interviewer, overall great guy, especially with some of the things he did with The Rock back in the day. He was a great personality at the WWE, and he's turned into a great sports broadcaster at ESPN. So definitely glad for his success at the mothership.
If you
Um, and obviously, Matt and I definitely wish Rollins well. Rollins is one of our favorite guys. He's obviously, we see through the old kayfabe. We know what kind of performer and what Rollins brings to the table. So we hope that the early end of that 6 months is there. So maybe we could see him maybe at a Money in the Bank, or hopefully a return at SummerSlam.
I was just gonna say, I don't see Seth Rollins returning until SummerSlam.
Uh,
There's nothing in this timetable that even suggests he can be back in time for WrestleMania.
no,
It
not at
seems like
all.
WrestleMania is 100% out of the picture for Seth Rollins now. It might be 80 to 90% out of the picture for Randy Orton right now.
Mhm.
So the two guys that fought each other at WrestleMania last year, and the other guy, and one of them who cashed in at the end of the night, might not even be seen at WrestleMania this year or next year, I guess you could say, however you want to put it. It's a big blow to the company overall.
Short,
This is crazy.
Shortly after the news broke that Seth Rollins is going to be out for 6 to 9 months, Coach also said that the WWE is going to hold a tournament at Survivor Series to crown a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We do not know if it's going to be an 8-man tournament, a 4-man tournament, round robin, 64 March Madness. Who knows? uh,
it's Deadly
my
Game all over again.
my guess is 4, but it could be
I
8.
think it's going to be 8.
I'd love it to be 8, King of the Ring
I
style.
think it's going to be 8. I think it's going to be 8. I think we're going to get
All right.
A Divas title match
What
between Charlotte and Paige, and I think we'll
let's
get
not
whatever goes on with the Brothers of Destruction and the Wyatt family, and I think that's going to be your Survivor Series card. I think a lot of
uh
plans are going to change
mhm.
now that they have to go in this direction.
Let's not go with winners yet. Let's just go
Oh,
with
I'm not even talking
participants.
winners. I'm just saying that's
No, 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 no. We're gonna talk winners in a minute, but first off, let's talk who we would love to see. Let's just say 8.
well, I surely
Who?
would have appreciated you bringing this to my attention before we started the show, because I would have had 8 people written down on a fancy smancy word pad that I could have
Hey,
gone with you. So if you wish to name your 8 first,
well, no, I'm just
I
saying.
will put my 8 together while you're working on yours. How about
No,
that?
I'm just saying. We're just working
Oh,
together
we're just
here.
working together. Okay,
We're
well, well, you suck.
Roman. Yep.
Let me put that out
Hey,
there. You suck.
hey, I throw things out there for you to be. You can't be prepared all the time on the show.
Well, I kind of like to be prepared, so you're a jerk.
Obviously Roman
I'm
Reigns.
working on it right now. So you can you think you're clever, but I'm gonna have 8 people within like the next 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Roman Reigns, obviously.
you're gonna be like, you look at my list, you're gonna be like, this dude's on crack.
Dean Ambrose. Agree.
Yeah. Dude, you put your people out there. I'm putting shit together right
Oh,
now.
you want to have your own
I
separate list?
am.
Okay.
I want to have my own motherfucking separate list.
You're the new Divas champion too, by the
Yeah.
way.
So you did deal with it, bitch.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't even write it. I didn't even write it
Ball.
down.
Well, booty hoo hoo.
Well, I figured we'd just work together and come up with it.
Well,
But
you didn't say nothing.
if you
So
want your own, if you want your own little world, then go for it.
damn right I want my own little world. I'm not.
Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, obviously, Cesaro. Um, I think somebody from the New Day. I'd love to see Xavier Woods, and I'd love to see him have an upset
I
win.
don't think anybody from the New Day is ready to be in the WWE title picture right now. I really don't.
No, I'd like to see him if it's an 8-man bracket. I'd love to see him get an upset win, and then probably get fed to Reigns or something like that. Um, but I'd like to see Barrett in there. Um, they're not. I mean, him and Sheamus have been tagging a lot, but they're not going to be. They're not in the tag team title pictures. Um, have they even announced the tag team title match yet?
I don't think we're gonna have one now. I
You
think it
don't
was
think so?
probably going to be the Usos and the New Day.
Yeah.
But with this tournament on the show, I don't. I really don't think they're gonna have time. Like I had a friend earlier tonight suggest, well, maybe they're gonna make Survivor Series 4 hours to accommodate for the tournament, but I don't see them doing that. I
Well,
mean,
a lot of
it's
the first
it's possible, but I don't see it.
I bet a lot of the first round matches will be 6 to 7 minutes, and then we'll get the final 3 matches will be longer of the 7 matches if they're doing 8. I mean, if they're doing 4, there's easily room for Usos and New Day. So, but I think Wade Barrett because Sheamus and him have been making a good team, but they're not in the tag team title picture right now. I don't think they're going to put them in against the New Day, two heels going against each other. I could see two faces going against each other every now and again, but it's really hard to see two heels go against each other. Um, and I guess Del Rio, but he's the United States champion, but they haven't really had a feud for him yet. Um, Neville would be a good one to put in there. Stardust, a lot of those middle card guys that have kind of had a taste of it.
See,
I would say,
I don't want anybody in this tournament where I can't legitimately see them holding the WWE Championship.
are there 8 guys you could legitimately see holding it right now, though?
Yup, because I
Really?
have 8 and I have 2 alternates as well. So
Ooh.
suck on that.
Well, Dolph Ziggler obviously
He's an
is
alt.
one, but
I have him listed as an alternate actually.
okay, go through your 8.
8, obviously Roman Reigns, Cesaro. Believe it or not, you're probably gonna have a heart attack. The Big Show.
He hasn't done anything lately
I
either.
know.
He's been selling the Brock Lesnar beatdown.
Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens, Sheamus, Del Rio, and God help me, I'm gonna keep pitching this until it happens. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
God damn it, Doc.
My alternates would be Dolph Ziggler, and if WWE really wanted to shake shit up, Brock Lesnar.
Now I did prepare you for this question earlier today, so you can't complain about this one.
Well, this was a. There's one thing about questions, okay,
Well,
that I can answer
I
off the
figured this
cuff,
is
but there's a
I
completely
figured
other thing about who should be the 8 people in the damn tournament.
I
And
figured both of us would come off the top of our heads and come out with it.
well, I
But
think we both, kind of, we did it. We did it.
um Now, here is the other thing. We were both damn certain Roman Reigns was going to beat Seth Rollins for his first WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
And I have it on good authority that that was absolutely the plan.
Now,
For Survivor Series
question,
was for him to win the WWE Championship.
two questions. Do you want it to still be the plan? And should it still be the plan?
Ain't no reason not to be.
Yeah.
Like I said, unless you're gonna bring back unless you're gonna bring in somebody like Brock Lesnar or whatever, I see
Or
no.
Daniel Bryan winning the title at Survivor Series?
No,
How
no.
fucking epic would that be?
Okay, you want some fantasy booking right now? Because I already thought about this today, and I already know what I would do if Daniel Bryan was in the tournament.
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I would have Bryan and Reigns on opposite ends of the bracket.
Yeah.
I'd have it come down to Bryan and Reigns. I'd have the Authority come out and look like they're gonna screw Roman, but they screw Bryan, and Roman is the new poster child for the Authority.
Oh, I would be
They
giddy at that.
Daniel Bryan tries to get a title shot at TLC and they deny it. They say that with his history of injuries, it is unwise of the Authority to place him in a match involving a table, a ladder, or a chair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan is not allowed to compete against Roman Reigns at um, at TLC. They decide to give Roman Reigns the night off at the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns does not have to defend the championship.
But
Somehow
Bryan has to win the Rumble.
Daniel Bryan goes in at number 1 because he talks himself into the Rumble because they can't figure out a reason not to put him in. They put
That's
him
the
in at
only way
number
he gets in is if
exact.
he's won.
They put him in at number 1. Daniel Bryan wins the Rumble, and you
Rey
have
Mysterio's it.
yeah, and you have Daniel Bryan beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Fuck, have him break Rey Mysterio's record of 62-20.
Yeah, and it sucks for Ray because Ray came in at number 2, so
Yeah,
he didn't
well,
get that he didn't get that honor of being the number 1 guy to survive. But I mean, he basically was.
I
But
mean, and anybody that's got half a brain realizes 1 and 2 are all in the same.
yeah, but no, I seriously, I would love for that to happen.
Now, I got another question for you, Matt.
It's like 5 months of WWE TV right there in the main event title picture.
I got another question for you, Matt. Can we just get WWE to fucking hire you now? Because I love that plan.
Well, it would be nice, and I would appreciate it.
My number one guy to win this tournament now, I say no. Let's hold off on the Reigns thing.
But they already held off on him once. If you hold off on him twice, can he really be salvaged at that point? Like two
I don't,
times
this
in a
is
row,
just me.
Roman was destined to win the WWE Championship, and
Yeah.
it was taken away from him. Not once, but possibly twice.
This
I think it could be a really bad thing. And also, if they don't want to bring Bryan back, you know who you put in that spot? You know who you put in the Daniel Bryan spot that I just talked about? Dean Ambrose.
yeah.
You have
Yeah.
Dean and Roman on opposite ends of the bracket, and you have Roman turn on Dean in the finals and join the Authority to win the championship, and you have Dean go through the Royal Rumble and win
hmm
it and beat Roman for the title at WrestleMania.
My fantasy booking after WrestleMania ended way back in March or April, whenever it was this year, my fantasy booking was to have Ambrose win the Rumble anyways and set up a Shield triple threat.
But
Unfortunately,
we all wanted the Shield triple threat. We wanted that last year for crying out
yeah.
loud.
Well, yeah, we thought it could somehow be true last year even. But this is just me being what I want, not best for business. I want hot shot Cesaro into that title. He's the hottest fucking face right now in the company.
I definitely agree with putting Cesaro in the tournament. I don't agree with him winning. I don't. They have not done enough. They have not done enough good by Cesaro
What more good can you
for
do
him to
but than to
go.
have him win it? I
I
think
think it's
having this tournament, the reason why I say this and I don't want Reigns to win is we got a tournament now. We got a whole new unknown compared to we were pretty sure Roman was going to win. Now we got a whole new unknown with either 4 or 8 guys in it. Give us a surprise from hell and put the belt on somebody we didn't see coming, and that'd be Cesaro.
I still in my opinion this ends the same way Deadly Games Survivor Series ended in 1998.
How'd that happen?
Whoever wins the championship is joining the Authority. But at that time was the corporation
Well, you know,
because the deadly game for the vacant title at Survivor Series 98 ended in the finals with The Rock and Mankind, and
yep.
everybody thought Mankind was the corporation's choice to win, and they turned on Foley, and The Rock joined the corporation and turned him heel, and he became the WWE champion. I
Mhm.
feel history is about to repeat itself in a couple weeks, and I do feel whoever wins this tournament is either going to be heel or is going to turn heel and join the Authority at the end of the night.
History. Creatives likes to repeat things, and like creatives likes to steal things. So, hello, Joseph Park. But yeah, so I could fully see that
Yeah,
happening, and I would absolutely love for Reigns to be the authority guy because there's got to be one. Sheamus, I could kind of see it, but still, it's still. Oh
I put Sheamus in the tournament just so he doesn't have a reason to cash in the case that night.
yeah, it is
Because
still.
they could easily, if they wanted to, they could leave Sheamus out of this tournament and
Mhm.
have him cash in on whoever had three grueling matches that night and
which
is
may
exhausted with the championship. And
which may
you could
be
put Sheamus with the Authority after that if you wanted to.
which may be the leader in the clubhouse of what's going to happen at this
Well, they
point.
easily, no, yeah, they could easily have Reigns win the tournament, win the title, and take it off of him 2 minutes later by Sheamus, and have Reigns continue to chase Sheamus going in. I would say no later than the Rumble. You have Reigns has to win the title before Mania.
Mhm.
You cannot bank
If we book
on Roman winning the title at Mania.
if we book it that way, where Sheamus wins, and then I have at TLC something screwy happens, and I don't. Well, there's no DQ though. I was gonna say something screwy happens where Reigns doesn't get it, and then Reigns gets his moment at the Rumble, and finally gets the title and holds on to it. Again, I'm still baffled at why unless they got some kind of plan that I'm not seeing, or it was Sheamus was going to be the authority guy all along, and have Rollins turn face. I still am baffled in why they put the briefcase on Sheamus. I don't have a scenario that plays out long term where Sheamus cashes it in and there's something to it.
I just don't think they had any plan for Sheamus at all, nor did they have any plan for the briefcase. And they decided, hey, put it on Sheamus. We'll figure it out within a year.
Do you have confidence that Sheamus can be the guy for the authority?
As long as it's
I
only a couple month period, yeah, it won't be that bad.
I'd say as long as he goes back to his old heel ways where he was just a
The only problem is
destructive
by
badass.
doing this, they're absolutely going to abandon the group with Barrett and Rusev, who's only out for a couple. I'm hearing only for like three to
A
four
month.
weeks.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, what really sucks for Rusev because he could have gone in, he could have gone into this tournament and done some damage, but he's out too.
You could throw those guys in with him. They could be Kane and Big Show.
I don't want all of those guys in the Authority. That's I mean, you could, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling that. I like
They
them.
got
I like
heat. They
them.
got heat. The authorities got heat. Why not put it
Yeah,
together?
but why can't you have separate heat? Why does all heat have to be together?
Why can't we have Sunday Night Heat? I miss that show.
I mean, he was alright. He was alright.
All right, that's a good discussion on what we're gonna see. Hopefully, we get some clarity
I'm
uh,
sure a lot is going to be handled on Raw
tomorrow.
Monday.
Oh, you think not tomorrow?
Oh,
It
dude,
said
no,
at
we're not.
WWE.com.
If we get anything before Monday, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna let this stew for the next couple of days. And Raw's taping overseas on Monday, so we're gonna know if you want to read spoilers or whatnot. You're gonna know around Monday afternoon what WWE's plan is for this tournament going into Survivor Series.
Mhm. And unfortunately, overshadowed by the news that we got today was Randy Orton. Just announced earlier this week on Monday, Randy Orton is unfortunately out for 4 to 6 months due to his shoulder issues. He has a partially torn rotator cuff, and so that was why he was written out of the storylines, getting attacked by the Wyatt family. We all knew all of that. We didn't know the extent of the injury, and now we do. So, unfortunately, 4 to 6 months for Orton. I hope to God it's 4 months and we can get him at Mania, maybe against
But I
Bray
mean,
Wyatt.
at that point, what the hell are they going to do with him?
Bray Wyatt
Yeah,
obviously would
I
be the,
guess they could do Bray Wyatt.
but I mean, if they're finally putting that throttle to Bray Wyatt with this Taker and Kane thing,
There is no throttle.
I know I'm
Dude,
just hoping.
he's gonna do the JOB at the Survivor Series. It's 25 years of the Undertaker. What the fuck you think's gonna happen at Survivor Series? Undertaker
I
come
just
out and job to these idiots?
I just hope
To the
creative.
man who hasn't won a feud in the last 3 years?
I just keep hoping
Well,
that
you
the
keep hoping, but you keep gonna be wrong. Yeah, and like freaking A, dude. There's nothing credible about Bray Wyatt anymore. Absolutely nothing. Because he runs his mouth, he talks a big game, and when push comes to shove, he always loses.
that's
So it
why
doesn't freaking Bray Wyatt doesn't matter anymore.
it's time to make those new stars.
He's absolutely irrelevant.
Got to make those new stars. So put them on a winning streak.
He ain't gonna be made. He ain't gonna be made in Survivor Series because he's gonna be eating a motherfucking tombstone from the Undertaker.
I like tombstones. Those are good pizzas.
I'll take a Red Baron. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm a tombstone guy all the way. Uh, Most recently, WSVN TV in Mexico interviewed Dave Bautista as he is
Yes, they
big
did.
is the big villain in Spectre 007. I don't know if that came out last week. I think it came out
It came
last
out
week.
in the UK last week. It is hitting movie theaters the 6th. So today, as you're listening to this, you can be buying your tickets to see Dave Batista, and you can go watch him after you're done listening to the show.
Yeah, definitely. He was talking to WSVN TV in Mexico on a potential WWE return. He said that he wouldn't want big money or a limited schedule. He said that for the WWE to get him to return, they'd have to book him on house shows just so he could wrestle and interact with the audience, not have to deal with the WWE writers or creative team. Oh, that was funny.
But
Uh, yeah, and obviously he's a Hollywood man now, so he doesn't need the money. So, but yeah, he said that he butted heads with creative on his last run when he came back, and he told WWE to make him a heel, but they made him a babyface, and look what happened. If only we had a show back then. I would love to hear Matt go off right fresh off of a Batista win for the
you wouldn't have
world.
been able to hear me go off live because I was in the building in
Oh,
Pittsburgh when that happened.
going off.
Oh, dude, I think that was one of the most unhappy crowds I have ever been a part of. It was crazy.
If you go to YouTube, search Batista interview why he left WWE, and I'd say sort by something in the past 7 days. You should easily be able to find that interview if you want to see it. All right, let's get some good news finally, Matt.
We have good news.
We do. January 7th, SmackDown is set to debut on the USA Network, and so after months of speculation, the official announcement has come down that they will be leaving Sci-Fi and coming to USA, and we've already talked about this before, Matt, and this only could mean good things for SmackDown being a relevant show again. Don't you agree?
And if you judge by the press release, I'm going to assume that the first airing of SmackDown on USA is going to be live. At least that's
Live on a Thursday.
yeah. At least that's the way it reads.
I
In the
read it
press
as
release, it reads like the initial showing it, the initial airing is going to be live, and I think it's going to be taped afterwards. I think they'll keep their Tuesday taping schedule, but it definitely read to me as if the initial debut on the USA Network was going to be live. So
I it says live action, which makes me think they just are spicing it up. Was what I was thinking.
I don't
Is that what
know.
you're referring to? Is when they said live
I'd have
action,
to
2 hour live
I'd have to
action?
go back and read it again. But
Oh,
when
it
I
says
read it, to me it
it,
came across that the initial airing of the show was going to be live, and
yeah.
going forward they were going to be taped.
Um, yeah. Here's how the first sentence reads. It goes: USA Network will have a white hot January with the grand arrival of the 2 hour live action WWE Powerhouse SmackDown. I'm thinking live action. They're just spicing up the SmackDown. I don't think it's going to be live. It would make sense for it to be live because it's a big deal moving to.
But you can also see in the second paragraph after that when they specifically say the words live in that first paragraph. Down in the second paragraph, it says, with the arrival of SmackDown on Thursday, January 7th, USA becomes the exclusive cable home of WWE's two marquee properties. Viewers can now bookend their week with Monday Night Raw live on Mondays from 8 to 11 and SmackDown Thursdays from 8 to 10. So they do not specify in that second paragraph that SmackDown would be live on a consistent basis.
Mhm.
So to me, it
How
sounds like it. They
how
even say at the end of that paragraph on January 7th, SmackDown will air its 855th episode from Laredo, Texas. So if they don't have, if somebody could look at WWE's calendar right now, if they don't have a date in Laredo, Texas on January 7th, we've already answered our own question. So I'm going to try to pull up WWE's calendar right now. Will you filibuster for me, if you will?
if you will. My filibuster's a question, so hopefully you can answer a question while you're looking it
I'm
up.
multi-talented, so I'm sure I can.
Is it okay? Uh, you're a rocket surgeon, right?
I'm a surgeon, brah.
You're a rocket surgeon. Are the logistics impossible to make it a live show on Thursdays every
Every
week?
week, yes. It would. It's just going to be way too much on the on the crew of the traveling team in order to
Hmm.
do it. It would be way too much. Um,
Would it be way too much to have a Tuesday live show?
I don't think USA wants live wrestling back to back on their network.
Yeah, because they remember how they put in that press release. They bookend your week,
I don't see them wanting to do that. I
and we'll fill it in between with some great shows. That Colony show looks badass. I'm definitely want to
Well,
try that
here's
one out.
something extremely interesting. According to their tickets on WWE.com, it goes from um, December 29th on a Tuesday, where SmackDown tapes in Washington, D.C., which should be the final episode of SmackDown on Sci Fi. Then they have a house show in Providence, Rhode Island, the same night on that Tuesday. The very next date that they have anything for is January 8th on a Friday for a WWE Live house show in Houston, Texas. So they actually do not have the Laredo, Texas show currently listed on WWE.com.
And it would make complete sense to have a live Thursday from Laredo and then move on down the road for Friday's house show.
Yep. I'm thinking the initial show is going to be live because Vince is going to want to do it big, and
Hmm.
following that they're going to be taped. So
I'd love to see the ratings for
I'm
that
trying
too.
to look for the next SmackDown they actually have listed as a taping on their calendar is January 26th, Tuesday night in Tampa, Florida, after the Royal Rumble. So they actually don't have any of their SmackDown listings for the month of January until post Royal Rumble. So maybe Vince is gonna go the route of having SmackDown Live every Thursday in January leading into the Royal Rumble, and then they're gonna go back to taping afterwards.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Definitely something to look at.
Um, isn't SmackDown kind of hovering right around the 2 million range per week? About 2.2. Is that about right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Wouldn't it be funny if it passed Raw for the week?
Ooh, it could. It could.
Because we're professionals and we're gonna segue right into it. Raw rating once again for the 2nd of November drops again. The overall rating dropped by almost 100 grand. The open dropped by about 260 grand the first hour. Uh, but of course, there was a big drop off from the first hour on the October 26th show. This one just consistently had low numbers, and actually, third hour gained 9,000 people to finish at almost 3.2 million. So there you go, Matt. Another reason why we should spice it up and have a surprise world champion. Maybe that'll, Daniel Bryan maybe put butts in the seats again.
As I said, I still think it's going to be Roman Reigns. I think everybody right now is getting their hopes up way too high for something majorly different to occur. And I think as long as Roman Reigns doesn't suffer some kind of crazy ass injury between now and Survivor Series, that nothing is going to defer Vince's plan of putting the title on Reigns at Survivor Series.
Put him in a damn bubble. Some good news for Ring of Honor, though. How about this, Matt? They jumped up from 132,000 to on the October 28th show to 227. Almost 100,000 person jump viewership wise for Ring of Honor. What happened? Nothing really
Nothing
happened.
really happened. It was just a good episode of Ring of Honor.
I mean, it's their
It was the
best.
same night. It was the same day that Ring of Honor announced the Young Bucks had signed the contracts with their company. I guess you could say that might have had something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
because
good for at the end of the day, good for Ring of Honor. I'm glad they were able to pull in those type of numbers, and I hope it continues going forward.
I mean they blew away their previous best of 175 by 50,000.
Yeah,
It's a,
at least.
and they were only 40,000 viewers away from TNA. So, be interesting if they can sustain that. I just thought that was interesting because yeah, the Young Bucks was about the only thing there. Um, a while back on Lost in the Midcard, we had reported that there was in the works developing a series for Fox on a pro wrestling drama, and it appears that Fox has purchased the rights to what is called The Work, a dramatic soap opera take on the world of professional wrestling. The network will now develop the series based on a script written by novelist Scott O'Connor, with 20th Century Fox said to produce the potential series. No further details have been known at this point. The article on Pro Wrestling Insider did note that there have been many series about pro wrestling that have been pitched in the future, but none of them have made it to air yet. So be interesting to see if this one makes it to air. How would you like to talk about a fictional drama every week on Lost in the Midcard, Matt?
Can't say I'm digging it, JB. I mean, I don't
uh,
mind. Look, if you want to do a show, I don't mind,
I hope
and
it.
I don't mind watching it. But if you think I'm going to be talking about a show along the lines of a Big Bang Theory or Gotham on this show every week, sorry, I don't think we're going to be doing that.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't suck, but who knows? All right, Matt had promised that he's going to go off on this story, so here we go. Last headline of the day. Interesting name back in the WWE. Once again, saying never say never. Former WWF champion superstar Billy Graham, who at various points rallied against the WWE, announced on his Facebook page that he is speaking to Triple H via telephone, visiting the SmackDown taping in Phoenix, and then he announced that last week he has signed a new Legends deal. In the past, Graham has openly accused the WWF of wrongdoing, specifically accusing Pat Patterson of molesting underage boys during an appearance on the Phil Donahue show during a time period where the steroid and sexual scandals about the WWE were being thrown around. Graham later admitted nothing that he said was true and blamed himself on being bitter about his health and the end of his career. Um, so yeah, he's now got a Legends deal in with the WWE, and it sounds like Graham had publicly disclosed that he had written to Vince McMahon seeking to take over Dusty Rhodes' position in heading up promo classes for the WWE Performance Center. All right, Matt, have at it. What are your thoughts on superstar Billy Graham signing a Legends deal with the WWE?
My thoughts are this piece of shit doesn't deserve to be associated with the WWE. He burned his bridge back in 2008, And honestly, that was a bridge that WWE repaired once before and brought this bitter old scumbag back into the fold where he didn't belong to begin with. He burned them again afterwards, and now they're dumb enough to bring him back into the fold yet again. It's mind-numbingly ridiculous to see them reaching out to this guy who's done nothing but give WWE bad PR for the last 7 to 8 years, and you're gonna bring him back in and throw him a freaking Legends contract and get him paid. It's absolute bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna bring Billy Graham back after everything he's done for your company, but Hulk Hogan you're gonna continue to pretend like doesn't exist? Really? I just it's absolutely asinine that this guy, after all he's done and said about the company, is getting yet another chance with them. When I'm sorry, it's 2015. Who gives a shit if you're gonna put a fucking superstar Billy Graham T-shirt on WWE Shop? Who the fuck's gonna buy that? Are you gonna buy
Oh,
are you gonna buy a tie-dye superstar Billy Graham T-shirt, JB?
nope.
Yeah, neither am I, and neither is anybody else that I know that has been hankering for superstar Billy Graham merchandise. Who gives a shit? It's absolutely ridiculous. Of all the people that you're gonna forgive and let bygones be bygones, you're gonna do it with a guy who not only burned his bridge with your company once but twice, and is so out of the public eye of being important that bringing him back to the company does absolutely nothing. It's
Yeah, and
just
he
like
was.
they just signed Tatanka to a Legends deal around the same time, and he's just about as meaningless as Superstar Billy Graham to me. But at least Tatanka hasn't been going around bad mouthing the company for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So good for Tatanka. He's kept his mouth shut. He's kept himself clean. He's getting some Legends money. Good for Tatanka. Because why the fuck not? But Billy Graham does not deserve anything good from this company right now, and he deserved to be blacklisted for the rest of his life. And the fact that he's back is absolutely and to me, it just says if you're gonna bring this guy back, there's nobody off limits that could eventually come back into the fold of this company.
Especially Hulk Hogan.
Dude, Hogan's back by Mania.
Can you
Hogan
fathom any
Hogan Hogan will be in AT&T Stadium in Dallas this April. He ain't gonna be wrestling, but
No.
Hogan will be there.
Can you fathom any reason, situation, or explanation as to why they did this?
No, there's
Can't even
no, there's
can't even think from a WWE corporate perspective at all or
no
anything that
because
this would make
it
sense.
would make sense if you're bringing somebody back. There could be money to be made from. If you're signing a Legends contract with like Goldberg, or you're able to come to a deal and sign a Legends contract with CM Punk, or
Hmm.
somebody that would immediately be able to sell merchandise for you, and that you're going to be able to sell shirts. Their likeness is going to help you sell video games. You're going to be able to make some action figures of them. Things that just financially make sense for the company. What the fuck's Billy Graham going to do for the company financially? Like,
Hmm.
seriously, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Back in the day when he was in his good standings with the WWE in the second go around in the mid 2000s, his action figures that were released in the classic Superstar series from Jack Pacific collected dust on the shelves because nobody fucking wanted to buy them. So
Hmm.
what the fuck makes you think in the year 2015 going on 16? Because if you just signed the Legends deal, you're probably not going to see his action figure till at least this time next year. What makes you think anybody's going to want to go and buy a Superstar Billy Graham action figure from Mattel? Like, nobody.
Everybody that plays with those figures needs a jobber, right?
I, dude, I'm telling you, man, I see no reasoning, no logical explanation for this to have taken place. Like, I
Mhm.
really don't.
Let's go to our new segment, Burning Questions. And unfortunately, this was all written, Matt, before the Seth Rollins news. So, the, yeah, some of this may have been, some of these questions may be repeats, but I will ask Matt 5 quick questions here about a particular subject. And the subject is with Cena and Orton gone. Well, now we got to add Seth Rollins to that list. Uh, so the first question: who needs to immediately be pushed to the top of the card?
Well, I think a
Uh,
lot of people that we mentioned earlier, as far as people in the tournament,
how
people
about
like
yeah? How
Cesaro,
about
people
like
like
two
Dean
or how about two?
Ambrose.
Yeah,
Um, you
any
know,
heels? Oh well, I guess if that your plan comes through, we'll all be happy. But
yeah,
any other heels?
Roman Reigns. It's time to elevate Kevin Owens higher than he already is.
Yes, yes.
Sheamus could be elevated. Couldn't hurt.
If they wouldn't have
It couldn't
had
hurt to turn
this,
Dolph heel again.
no,
Because
and if they
he's
wouldn't have
treading
had
water as
this,
a babyface.
if they wouldn't have had this stupid ass love triangle shit, you could have had Rusev in there too.
Well, Rusev could still happen when he comes back in a month, because I think by
Yeah,
the time he comes back, Lana might be ready to come back too. Um,
but God,
and,
they've been
and
pussifying
they
Rusev.
can bring them back together.
Please
Um,
just bring us the old Rusev back.
they could do that. No good as it's as good as time as any to bring up Baron Corbin.
Hmm.
You
Well,
know,
that led into my that leads into my third question. But let me ask the second one: will the WWE actually push anybody to the
they don't have
top?
a choice. They
Okay.
have absolutely they have absolutely no choice right now. Not only did they
Uh,
lose their two main eventers that have main evented this company for the last decade, they just lost their WWE champion too. They have no choice but to start pushing new talent.
well, Triple H is going to push himself now again.
Yeah, I'm gonna win the title. Give it to me, Vince.
Are you
I'll
ready?
carry the ball.
Are you ready for me to lead off Raw every single week like I did in the 2000s?
Al Venus led off Raws in the 2000s.
Yeah, and it almost turned into Vince. My Triple H turns into Val Venus. Hello, ladies. The big Valboski here needs to go back to the top
I don't think he
of
was
the
ever
bed.
at the top.
No, he wasn't actually. Should we? You kind of mentioned one here. Should we expect any new call-ups between now and the Rumble?
Yeah. Uh, yes, most certainly. But I think it's time to bring Corbin up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Corbin should be brought up. Um, honestly, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this. I think it's time to bring Finn Balor up. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think he drops the title to Joe in the UK. That should be right around the time Hideo's coming back. They revealed that Joe was the one who took out Hideo on the night Joe debuted. You got a built-in program there. Nothing for Balor to do. I would bring Balor up um, in time for the Rumble.
Because I want to see a Balor special entrance at WrestleMania this year. God damn it. Um. So we got you talked about Tommy. You talked about Joe. Who else should be on the upper mid card or upper card for NXT? James Storm.
Absolutely, James
Uh,
Storm. We
um,
still don't know what's going on with Sami Zayn. We don't
he
know.
should be,
He should be back anytime, from my
but we're hoping
understanding.
for a Zayn and Owens
That's what I was just gonna
feud.
say. I don't know if they're gonna immediately just bypass him, um, from NXT and put him.
You still got Apollo Crews though too.
Yeah.
That'll be up
Well, I'm
there.
just saying. I mean, I don't
Uh,
know if they bypass Sami Zayn to return to NXT and immediately bring him to the main roster, if he comes back to NXT before going up.
yeah, I don't know.
But I definitely feel like that kind of stuff is definitely debatable right now.
Time to open up that checkbook. Bring AJ Styles over.
Well, that all depends on his New Japan deal.
Okay,
I
my
don't know
next.
when his New Japan deal expires.
All right. Well, my next question was written before the Rollins injury, so let's just say Rollins injury didn't happen, Matt.
No, we can't. So
I know, but would I? My question was, will they stretch Rollins and Reigns, the feud between those two? Would they have stretched it through the Rumble?
I'm gonna say no.
Uh,
I'm gonna say no.
you know,
I don't think they're gonna stretch anything.
yeah. Well,
I think it's already done. I think they decided to put it. I
shut
think they
up.
decided to put a kibosh on that feud. Saw it wasn't working out. Ratings really weren't where they wanted them to be. So they said, "Yeah, Rollins, Reigns, and Rollins, and we're gonna go in a different direction."
Yeah, you just
That's what they decided to do.
turned into Vince Russo there. Yeah, I think they would have stretched it out
Can I
if
be
if
honest with
Rollins would
you?
have got hurt. Yeah, I think they would have stretched it out. They had to have almost. I mean, because my gut was with just Cena and Orton gone. I don't think they would have put anybody new to the top. I think they would have stretched this feud to the Rumble, and then Cena's back, and hey, Cena wins the title. um, last question on burning questions. What is the best way to book Cena when he comes back first of the year?
I don't know.
Heel.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. We, we come back and try to get his heat off at Del Rio again. But I don't know. I don't know.
All right, let's run through SmackDown real quick. Not much to talk about from last week's SmackDown. Good match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, though. It was the Halloween special, so there was a good trick or treat street fight match between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. I thought that was pretty entertaining. Paige and Natalya had themselves a pretty decent match. We had R-Truth jobbing to Del Rio, and we'll get a flashback of that later on in Raw. Then we had a Fear of the Fear challenge as Dean Ambrose was trying to recruit two guys to take on Harper, Rowan, and Strowman in the main event of SmackDown. And Ambrose was able to recruit Cesaro and Ryback. And in the end, the bad guys won with the Wyatt family. So that is
JB,
SmackDown.
I'm so fucking disappointed in you. So
Yeah, what
disappointed.
I forget
But yeah,
something.
you absolutely forgot the best part of SmackDown last Thursday night.
Enlighten me.
Boo Dallas.
Oh yes, I
How
forgot.
could
See,
you
yeah, it's
forget about Boo Dallas?
I need to write notes down because
It was the best. That was the best part of SmackDown last week. Was those
it was
segments
like
with
a
Boo
week ago.
Dallas?
So we had all this shit that's happened the last couple days in the WWE. I completely forgot about Boo Dallas dressed up as a ghost,
Never forget about
try,
Boo Dallas ever.
trying to scare people, and it didn't work. He tried to scare Renee Young. She wasn't having it. Matt, he did scare one guy,
Mark Henry
and and,
got punched in the
and
face.
somebody gonna get the ass kicked. Scared the living shit out of Mark Henry, dropped his cell phone, and then Henry just punched him back into the box he was hiding in. Yes, Matt, thank you for bringing that up. Boo
Yeah,
Dallas.
we had to bring some positivity to the show right now, and I certainly
Yeah,
think a healthy helping of Boo Dallas is just what the doctor ordered.
yeah. Just so much has happened in the last 7 days that I completely forgot about it. So my apologies, but that was some good shit. I loved it. I loved it. Now, if we can be serious for a moment and push Bo Dallas with some meaning. I mean,
Well,
hello.
that's never gonna happen.
I mean, he's held a title for quite a long time in that thing you call NXT.
Oh, you mean
You
that thing
could,
Vincent Dunn completely ignore?
my God, I don't drop a Kevin Dunn, even though I don't have to drop one. Live from the Mile High City, and I capitalize high for you. Raw is taking place in Denver, Colorado. Episode
And
1171.
apparently the authority was high as well because they thought Survivor Series was only 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's actually 2 weeks and 6 days away from
It was
Monday.
pretty
Correct?
much 3 weeks away.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, but I don't know. WWE, they have their own calendar system. They just make shit up as they go. They invented the calendar, or maybe Jericho invented the calendar. I can't remember who.
Meh.
Seth Rollins shows up for a promo. Well, yeah, all right. We all know what happens now. Uh, Triple H did throw in a high line though, asking, "We're at altitude, but are you high?" to the crowd. That got a good pop, obviously, because people in Colorado like to smoke their weed. Because
Excellent,
I think they
and
were,
I definitely insinuated so did the Authority before Raw started.
yeah. Triple H, I think he had the glassy eyes going there on that night too, so we'll have to drug test him. 30-day ban, wellness policy.
Don't drug test me. I'm not an independent contractor.
I'm the game. Hello, ladies.
Your Triple H needs a lot of work.
I know. Hunter said they're going to have a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match on Raw, because why wait for 2 weeks or 2 weeks and 6 days? Rollins has choose four partners, and Reigns chooses four partners, and there you go. Hunter said choose wisely because Roman's survival may depend on it. I don't know what that meant. Did that make any sense to you, or was that just Triple H being clever, throwing a survival line in before Survivor Series?
It would definitely came across that they were hinting that one of Roman's partners were going to turn on him,
Uh,
but obviously that didn't happen.
I think it's a fun idea though. It's still something else to spice up Monday Night Raw, and you got to wonder who's going to be the partners and all that. So I thought that was good. Coming up later on Raw, they pimp a fatal four-way Divas match between Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Paige, and Brie Bella for the number one contendership of Charlotte's Divas title. That's going to be a good one. Um, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, and this one was pretty good. Not too bad. More for Tyler Breeze, and obviously Tyler Breeze still getting in one over on Dolph Ziggler. Breeze distracted Ziggler, and Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb after a 10-minute match. I expected a little better out of Owens and Ziggler. I think this is more of a angle than what we can get from them. Hope maybe down the line or something. Just more of an angle to put over that Tyler Breeze is a thorn in Dolph Ziggler's side. Post match, um, Ziggler got smacked with the old beauty shot. So and then they took a great selfie. Summer and Breeze did with Ziggler knocked out, so that was pretty good. Backstage after the match, Owens was approached by Seth Rollins. Rollins congratulated on his win, and Rollins said that WrestleMania is around the corner. How about a champion versus champion match? And Owens says, "Well, yeah, you're going to get your knee hurt, so sure, I'll take that champion match at WrestleMania." Owens says he agrees to be on Rollins' team, but Rollins owes him one, so remember that. But of course, creative probably won't 9 months from now, right, Matt?
Yeah, pretty much take that and throw that out the window.
um, Becky Lynch was interviewed by Renee Young. She said how last week was an eye opener and cannot wait to get her hands on Paige. That pretty much tells you Becky Lynch ain't going to win that fatal four way. She's going to be too focused on Paige. Brie Bella interrupts and says if anybody's going to win the four way, it's her and not Charlotte's wacky sidekick. And Lynch called Brie the pathetic doormat sister of Nikki. Yeah, but I love more Becky Lynch promos. I love it, love it, love it. Cesaro against The Miz. We get to see The Miz twice in the span of a week. Finally getting some wrestling action in. But pretty short match as Miz tapped out to the sharpshooter. Props to Tyson Kidd. But how about that swing on the Miz mat? 25 spins.
It was kind of crazy.
That was a great one. I don't know how, man. I mean, we know Cesaro's strong and all, but still, man, after about 10 of those things, you got to be like, whoa. And of course, Stardust was out there with the Ascension, with the Stardust section. Are they ever going to do anything with this, Matt?
Probably not now.
You have a
I'm
good
sure they
point.
probably had a plan for Survivor Series teams between them, but I'm pretty sure. I think a majority of WWE storylines that they currently had planned going into Survivor Series are
Throw them out
are
the
thrown
window.
out the window.
Well, maybe if it's an 8-man tournament, maybe they have Cesaro take on Stardust in the first round. That could be a possibility.
I don't. with
Uh,
Stardust being in a tournament for the WWE Championship.
Wyatt family comes out for a promo. What did you think about all the old special effects there,
You
Matt?
don't
Was it
know.
good?
No, it was awful. It
Okay, I
was
was gonna say, is it
absolutely no.
good? Was it cheesy
It
bad?
was cheesy, garbage, bad. It was honestly one of the worst segments I've ever seen on Raw. There was no believability to it at all. The entire thing had me rolling my eyes. I thought it was just rancid, awful.
When I saw
To
the
me, it was the worst part of Raw on Monday.
lightning for the first time, I'm like, what the hell anime? This looks like shit that was on He-Man back in the
Yeah,
80s.
the fact that you're gonna make me believe that you're gonna try to make me believe that fucking Bray Wyatt pretty much ate the souls of the Undertaker and Kane, and now he can control their pyro. Like, shut the fuck up. Not enough
Mhm.
of this shit. It's
The only
so
good thing
stupid.
The only good thing they showed out of this whole thing was a pretty cool video package showing kind of basically the history of Kane and Undertaker. I thought that was
Which really made no sense for Bray Wyatt to play that. The entire segment was just it was awful.
because it kind of spun into a black hole at the end. I guess I don't know.
Dude,
You're
it was garbage.
I'm in agreement with
Yeah,
you here, Matt. It looked weird, hokey, dumb. Bray doesn't need this
yeah.
shit.
The Wyatt
He's got
the reason why the Wyatt family isn't being taken seriously anymore is because they're now treating the Wyatt family like a bunch of early '90s WWE cartoon characters.
yeah.
And nobody bought that garbage seriously then, and no one's gonna buy it now. The cult type deal that they were originally doing was believable. It was more grounded. It made more sense.
Oh, like Midian. That
No, like when the Wyatt family first showed up, they were like a
oh
freaking religious cult almost.
yeah
And
yeah. Well, I was talking about I thought you were talking back to the Undertaker days.
no, I'm talking '90s gimmick, corny, unbelievable characters like Giant Gonzalez and Mantar,
Max Moon.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I won't go as far as to say Max Moon. He was just a masked dude. It was Conan.
He
It
just had
was Conan.
he said weird. He said weird
Okay,
colors.
fine. Yeah, all right. But yeah, you know what I'm saying though. It's just they're not the whole supernatural thing works for Undertaker and Kane because they've been doing it for 20 Undertaker for 25 years now. You can't do it anymore. It's
You know what? I mean, going into the stupid ass minds of Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon, they probably like, this is the passing of the torch, official passing of the torch, pal. I'm
There
like,
is no passing of the torch because in 3 weeks Undertaker's going to tombstone Bray Wyatt's ass in the middle of the ring in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Wyatt family's going to be buried again.
yeah.
Ain't no passing of the damn torch.
Uh, mm, I would say this might be match of the week. I don't know, maybe the four way toss up between the two, but I really enjoyed Lucha Dragons against Sheamus and Barrett this week. You as well?
Oh, it was a good match. I wouldn't call it match of the week, like by
I
any
enjoyed it
stretch of the
a lot.
imagination. Uh,
I enjoyed it a lot.
it was good. I wouldn't call it match of the week though. That's all.
Um, some good action. I mean, Sin Cara actually did some good work on the hot tag. Usually Kalisto's the guy with the hot tag. They actually had each of them had a hot tag in this match because it was a 15-minute match. But yeah, I loved it. Maybe it was the length of it and the fact that all these guys are good.
The main problem I had with this match was that they telegraphed who was going to win so blatantly bad by
mm,
airing that video package on the Lucha Dragons before the match.
yep,
You
yep,
knew they were going to win. So when at the end of the match, you were like, "Oh, what an upset that the Lucha Dragons won!" No, it wasn't an upset because you fucking told us with the fancy video package before the match that the Lucha Dragons were going to win.
yep. And I mean, Sheamus and Barrett have been winning a lot lately. I think it would have been better just to have them
No,
win.
I think it would have been better to let the Lucha Dragons get the upset win without the video package, and you could have aired the video package later on in the night. Hey, remember that the big upset win by the Lucha Dragons earlier tonight? Let's have a closer look at Kalisto and Sin Cara, and they could
Mm,
have run that video then. But to air it right before the match really telegraphed the finish, and I think it ruined I think it ruined the surprise factor that they could have gotten by letting them go over without it.
Hmm. Backstage segment, Zed Coulter sitting in his little rascal there. I just said little rascal. And lo and behold, we got a familiar voice showing up in the doorway. It's Mr. Jack Swagger. And he still got the We the People shirt on. And Alberto Del Rio showed up and told Swagger to stay away from Zeb and stay away from their business. And Viva Mex America. I thought it was cool to see Swagger again, and I think he did well in the role. I I missed Swagger being in something meaningful. I don't know if you agree, but I like Swagger and hope to see something for
They
him.
had a
And
chance to save Swagger last year, and they chose not to do it.
oh, that could have been that was borderline feud of the year until Rusev wins. Rusev wins. Rusev wins. Rusev wins. You
Yeah,
know.
they wanted to save Swagger. They had the chance to do it last year, and
I
they
know.
chose not to do it. So
Well, John Canton on TGR Wrestling, he came up with something kind of interesting, is to team him up with some guys that haven't been around, you know, Sandel, Axel, Fandango, and have them kind of go against this Mex America
I
revolution.
was with you till you said Fandango.
Yeah,
I
well, he
was
said
with you till you
he said
said Fandango.
well, he said
How
this
about
this or this.
Fandano? How about Fandano? How about that?
They're all solid. They're all solid in the ring at least.
I don't even think he's that.
How
I
about
don't even,
just
dude.
what if we just call him
I don't
Johnny?
even think he's that good in the ring.
Let's just call him Johnny
Dude,
Curtis
I
then.
don't
But
give a
yeah,
damn what I don't give
Sandel.
a damn what you call him. I don't think he's that good in the ring.
Would you
Axel and
like to see
Sandow
kind
are
of a?
completely different. I would love
Would
to
you like
see
a?
Axel and Sandow get
Would you
their
like to
TV
see a
time back.
rebirth? Would you like to see a rebirth of the Real Americans with Swagger, Sandel, and Axel? Do you think that would be good at
I would
least?
be okay with it. They're all American, so they fit that bill. I just, yeah, that would be fine. I would be okay with that. I sure as fuck wouldn't include Fandango in it. Uh,
I'm just reading what I'm just reading what he said.
well,
So
you should have edited him. You should have known
uh,
the angst that was going to come your way when you suggested the words Fandango and push in the same sentence on Lost in the
no,
Midcard.
no, 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 Matt. It's fun. Don go.
Fandano to getting a
Del
push.
Rio
No.
wipes the floor. Del Rio wipes the floor with R-Truth again. Thank you for coming. Um, they show Batista is on the cover of Muscle and Fitness, so WWE hasn't forgot about Batista because he could probably bring them money in the future.
WWE is trying to kiss Batista's ass right now.
A little
Yeah, keep
bit.
in mind, this is the same company when Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out. They chose not to promote the movie for him.
Yep.
So, yeah, now
Because that was
WWE's
because
kiss,
that
now
was
WWE's
that
kissing his ass.
because everybody's getting hurt and leaving. They showed a video package of the Survivor Series 2005 Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Um, did you remember this one at all? I vaguely do. Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton were the last, and I think JBL distracted
Nobody cared
Shawn.
then, and nobody cares now.
You tell him how it is, Matt.
Just bring the truth, man. Truth needs to be said.
Rollins is shown backstage when oh no, Rollins says oh no, here come the New Day again, and once again, New Day and Seth Rollins a great pair. But we won't get to see it for. What if New Day goes to the hospital to visit Seth Rollins? How great would that be?
We're not getting that. Why would you even tease such greatness that you know
Hey,
WWE will never achieve?
you teased me greatness with the Rollins story arc, or the Reigns story arc. So I gotta tease you
Oh yeah,
back.
that's my fault that WWE creative isn't smart enough to come up with the idea I came up with today. That's my
Yeah,
fault.
it's your fault. It's all your fault, man. Uh, they said that they wanna join Rollins once again because they've teamed with Rollins in the past. Rollins says they need one more guy, and Big E and Kofi Kingston put their unicorn horns up in the air, and they wish really hard. And all of a sudden, we hear the trombone of light play. It's Xavier Woods, and he's back with a brand new trombone.
Did you really just say the
And
trombone of light?
I did the trombone of light. And they, along with that, Rollins was a little reluctant to chant with Team Rollins, but he got into it a little later on. That was such a gold segment. I know you're going to agree, Matt.
Yeah, it was a great
But such,
segment. I'm not going to argue that.
oh my god, I just love how Seth interacts with him. Like, oh god, it's these guys
These
again.
goofs.
Hey, we get to hear Becky Lynch's theme music because we sure as hell didn't when she was in PCB. And then, the beautiful Sasha Banks comes and makes her entrance. Brie Bella coming with that god awful Brie mode music,
You love it.
And then no, and then Paige is last to enter for the Fatal 4-Way. And yeah, this was match of the night by far. And these four ladies, they definitely showed why the Divas Revolution should be the way it is, because I thought this was just great. And Sasha hits the bank statement on Becky Lynch, but it is broken up by Paige. Paige throws Banks into the ring post, threw her completely out of the fucking ring. And Paige hits the Rampage DDT on Becky Lynch to win after about a 15-minute match of greatness. And I'd assume you'd agree. And how about that little four-person spot off the top turnbuckle?
Yeah, I mean the match was great. The only problem was they blatantly picked the most obvious winner possible in Paige. When I felt,
I
it would
think
have
they're
been better.
saving Sasha Charlotte at
I already
WrestleMania.
said that on Monday. I feel that they're
Mhm.
not going to pair Sasha up with Charlotte until they're ready for Charlotte to drop the championship, and obviously they're not ready to do that yet. But come on,
Do you feel like that'd be the best Divas WrestleMania match possible?
yes,
Is Charlotte Sasha Banks?
yes.
I agree. I agree. So yeah, Paige against Charlotte. We know Paige won't win there, but great job by the ladies. This is what we've been wanting from the Divas, and it's been sputtering from time to time, but they delivered tonight. So good job, ladies.
Give them a chance.
And for some
Gosh
reason,
darn it.
huh?
So give a chance, gosh.
Yeah, hashtag it. And for some reason, Byron Saxton gets in the ring, and
You love Byron Saxton.
I don't hate him, but
What a reigning endorsement. I don't hate
I
him.
don't hate him. Don't hate him. I like him with Corey Graves. Them two are pretty good together. Um, basically, Paige is saying if you're not with her, you're a loser. So I guess we're losers, Matt.
Oh well.
Oh
She's been
well.
a loser for majority of her main roster run.
Well, yeah, well, that's because of two guys that we've already put over way too much tonight. It's time for the main event. And first, we got before the main event, Charlotte did an interview with Ray Young. Great promo by Charlotte there. I loved it. Good work there.
Yeah, she's getting better on the microphone, which is
Yeah.
needed.
She
She
threw in
wants to
some
be a
kind of.
mainstay for the company as the top diva on that roster. She's got to get better on the mic. And she did a pretty good job on the with the interview on Raw Monday.
Yeah, I mean, if we go and nitpick things, I think she nitpick it in a good way. Had a lot of good. I saw a lot of good nuances from her in her promo. It wasn't just a typical robotic type of deal. I saw a lot of nuances and stuff, and some emotion. I loved it. A good promo by her. Seth Rollins comes out. Actually, first the New Day come out. I'm sorry, and the New Day talked about Survivor Series, how their favorite band is Survivor, their favorite reality show is Survivor, their favorite Destiny's Child song is Survivor, their favorite movie is Lone Survivor, their favorite book is also Lone Survivor, and then some more unicorn stuff and some more New Day rocks. Just greatness from the New Day as always. Then Kevin Owens makes his entrance, and followed by Seth Rollins. We pretty much we knew the team that Seth Rollins was bringing to the table. We did not know anybody that Reigns was going to bring, so obviously Reigns comes out first. And what a surprise, Matt, that Usos are back.
I wasn't that surprised.
No, we knew they were coming soon, but still good to see him back, though. You agree?
It was alright.
You don't like the
I'm
Usos?
fine with the Usos. It's just I was not surprised that they came back.
I wasn't expecting it there, but and then Ryback comes out, and then finally, my boy Dean Ambrose joins the match. Xavier Woods
It's
is
your
getting
boy
himself all
Dean
hyped.
Ambrose.
Xavier Woods getting all hyped up, a la Mark Henry at last year's Survivor Series, and then walks into a super kick where Mark ran into the KO punch from the Big Show last year. And unfortunately, Xavier Woods, thanks for coming. Welcome back. Glad you're married. Hope you enjoyed the honeymoon and your work's done for the night. Then Kofi Kingston was eliminated by Jimmy Uso, so now New Day not looking so good. Obviously, Jimmy and Jay doing the eliminations. They're going to be next in line for the tag team titles, we both assumed. Jay Uso eliminated by Big E. We haven't seen the big ending by just Big E in quite a while, so that was pretty cool to see. Normally, they've been putting that into a tag team finisher. Jimmy Uso gets eliminated by Kevin Owens from the pop-up powerbomb. Pretty cool pop-up powerbomb there. Always looks impressive when a smaller guy gets thrown way up in the air. Big E gets eliminated by Ryback, but Ryback turns right into a pedigree and gets eliminated. So now we're down to the final four guys, which we all assumed probably was going to be the final four. Ambrose and Reigns against Owens and Seth Rollins. Owens gets eliminated by the dirty deeds of Dean Ambrose, and then Rollins didn't want any piece of Reigns, and Ambrose tries to run away 2 different times, unsuccessful, and then grabs a chair, hits Ambrose, and also lays out Reigns for the disqualification. So the good guys get the W. Like I told Matt on Twitter, I said DQ finishes are not always great, but in this case I kind of loved it because 1, it made Seth look strong because he laid out 2 guys with chairs, and for 2, it keeps Ambrose and Reigns and Rollins pin free in the match. So. Did you enjoy a little taste of Survivor Series here on Raw? Did you think it was a good deal, a good idea to put this on Raw? And then did you like the match?
Yeah, match was good. I liked the match. I liked the ending. I thought it was a good build to their match at Survivor Series. That's no longer going to happen. So yeah.
So would you go out on a limb and say these were 2 pretty good back-to-back Raws?
Yeah, they were. They were 2 good back-to-back Raws. The question is how long they're going to be able to maintain that streak.
I mean, come on. Hottest guy in the company right now, Cesaro. Come
I
on.
really don't. I really think you have blinders on. He's not the hottest guy in the company. I love Cesaro. I do, but I don't think a majority of the fan base is going to accept Cesaro uh, as WWE champion. It's just.
Well,
Does he deserve an Intercontinental United States title run right now? Absolutely. WWE champion, they haven't done enough with him yet to make it believable. So I just.
And to Roman Reigns' credit, he got great reactions from Denver. He got great pops and you could not hear any boos at all. I think he's going to get booed in them smart mark towns, Philly, Chicago, namely, but a very positive reaction from the Denver crowd. I just wish I want Reigns to be a good guy, but I love your idea. But I want everybody to accept him. I mean, it's not his fault that Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn tried to make him John Cena 2.0 way too fast and just shove it down our throats. So let's go to the new series on the WWE Network, Breaking Ground.
Ground of Breaking.
I've been loving this show.
It's good shit.
Good shit. Let's talk about episode 1 to start off with, and then we'll break into episode 2 that happened earlier this week. Last week on Breaking Ground, we got an intro from Triple H, a great one, talking about trying to make it through. Even if you're a world-class athlete, it's not going to be for you. For everybody that is a world-class athlete, you still have to have it. He even talks about his own story of struggling to make it in the business. Hello, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And right from the get go, Matt, do you agree? Bill Shatner, great narrator for
Oh,
this.
absolutely. They
Oh,
they
I
they,
love
they
it.
nailed it.
Love it. They show the Yeti Josh, winner of Tough Enough, from this year, signing his contracts day one, going through orientation, talking to Matt Bloom and all that fun stuff. Then they showed a bunch of WrestleMania highlights. I don't know why they did that. I mean, obviously this is their goal of
That
these
that that
guys.
that's why, in my opinion, that's why they showed it.
I just thought it didn't belong.
No, no, that's the end stage, dude.
I
That's where
guess.
everybody down there wants to be. They want to get to WrestleMania. And a lot of people that they highlighted in that video package were people that came through NXT.
Mm.
So no, I thought it was solid. I liked it.
They show a guy by the name of Tino Sabatelli, and he's one of the wrestlers that actually had a good career in the NFL, 7 years, and he's been with the NXT system for 10 months. Uh, first glance at Tino, do you like his look? Think he could be a superstar?
Meh.
No, not too impressed yet.
There's nothing about him that makes me connect with him right now.
Okay. They profile Baron Corbin. They show him riding around in his chopper around the neighborhood and
Baron the
talked
Dick
about
Corbin.
yeah, talked about his changes from being in the NFL to NXT. Then they show a 19-year-old girl who is struggling, and then they transition to Devin Taylor. And it goes to show that it's not just the tough enough people that struggle at the performance center. There's people that they've bring in there that are having the same kind of struggles that we have seen on Tough Enough. Baron Corbin, he's showing off a red mark on his forehead because he was trying a standing moonsault. Could you see that guy doing a standing moonsault?
Nope.
Not, nah. They feature Tino some more, talking about how he has to be careful with his concussions and how he's also having trouble adjusting from the NFL to the WWE. And they talk about adjusting and having to go through a lot to try to make it. And they show my favorite part of the show, the man's man Titantron for Steven Regal. He's a man. And a lot of other things that Regal has gone through, embarrassments in his career that he had to go through before making it. They didn't show the Kiss My Ass Club though.
Thank God.
Yeah, the only good thing about that one was Regal's facial expression after he did it was great. About the same facial expression when Jericho pissed in his tea. They show everyone at a live event from Bayley to Finn Balor to Sarah Lee setting up the ring for a live event. So it's not just the newbies; it's everybody. Everybody, even if you're established or not within NXT, you all help out and get things set up for the show. Uh, Baron Corbin looks like he's cut from the mold of Brock Lesnar, where he doesn't like people. Matt,
You think?
he just doesn't give a shit about you. You know, he's just gonna live in his own world. And the 19-year-old girl that was struggling, we talked about. Her name is Noof, and her and Sarah Del Rey talk about her getting bumped off the live card. So one of the unfortunate things for people trying to make it in the business is just trying to make it onto that card. No matter where you are on that card, you're still trying to make it on the card. And so Sarah had to give her the bad news about that. And then at the end of episode 1, they introduce us to the VP of Talent Development, Canyon Seaman, and he says the hardest part of his job is letting someone go, and they tease a firing on next week's show, which then transitions us to Matt Bloom talking about Devin Taylor and how she's stagnant and not improving. And did you know that she was trying to really push to be a wrestler at
Yes.
that point? Or yeah,
Yeah, of course I knew. I told you this months ago about her, how I thought the patting on the head thing with Dana was going to eventually turn into her getting in the ring and facing her.
did you think she was an okay interviewer
She was fine,
or
but that's
no?
not what they wanted her for.
Yeah,
Anybody could stay there with a microphone and be an interviewer. They had
yeah.
hopes for her to be an in-ring worker, and it didn't work out.
Welcome to your new job, Tom Phillips. So then Canyon lets Devin go in a private meeting, and they have 3 days coming up at tryouts for hopefuls to try to get a performance center deal. One of the girls trying out gets pulled aside and is told she cannot continue due to her back condition, and so it's basically over before it starts. So you get to that point, and then someone pulls you aside right away. That's just gotta suck all to hell. We get to see a lot of stuff that we typically see on Tough Enough with in-ring work, taking bumps, and all that stuff. And they show a couple of guys who are definitely not physically able enough to hang. Maybe they can get some pointers from ZZ on cardio, right, Matt?
I still stand by my statement that
Oh, we're gonna talk about
that
ZZ here in a
I
minute.
I truly believe that ZZ was brought in for this show just so they could fire him.
Yeah.
I really and truly believe that.
They profile Dana Brooke and show how hard she works and shows her persona in the ring, kind of profiles her, and then shows kind of the what she does behind the scenes. And there's no doubt that she's got a big future in the WWE. And I mean, I had a lot of respect for Dana already, but I have even more once I learned how hard she works.
Yeah, and unlike
Ray.
Baron Corbin, she's not a bitch.
No, I love her, and that was great. That was great to see. Just she's putting in time. Rain, snow, sleet, hail, sick, healthy, whatever. She is putting in the time to get better. Then they profile Bailey, who they say is the best in NXT currently, and I would have to agree. Next up is ZZ. He was the finalist on Tough Enough. He lost to the Yeti Josh. He does look in a little better shape, though, at
This
least.
round of shape.
So harsh.
I was being
Matt
truthful.
Matt Bloom, he is in better shape than he was on Tough Enough.
I don't think he was at all. I think he looked exactly the same.
I thought he looked a little better. He meets with Matt Bloom, and also his parents were there as well.
Which
Matt
is so
tells him
pathetic.
what?
He brought his fucking parents along.
Yeah, and then Matt tells him how he's gonna have to work it. He's gonna have to work his ass off. Then we get into the ring, and the struggles that ZZ had on Tough Enough are shown as he works out in the ring. Hopefully, he can snap into it. But we're really, I think Matt was onto something there. They also show ZZ's struggles in the weight room, basically because ZZ's never really used a weight room. He says all of his experiences from working out come out on the outs or working on the outside and not in a weight room.
Boo hoo.
He does have a what? Boohoo! Yeah, he does have a good talk with Mojo Rawley and gives ZZ some good encouragement. So that's nice of Mojo to do that.
Yeah, because Mojo knows this idiot's not a threat to his job.
Yeah.
Mojo looks at this
ZZ,
idiot and like, oh really? This moron's here. All right, I'll be nice to him so I look like the good guy. But ain't nothing coming out of this jabron.
one of the head coaches at NXT is Englishman Robbie Brookside, who's been in the business for a long time. He has a one-on-one sit-down with ZZ and says he'll do everything to help for him to help him as long as ZZ's committed. But we've all seen how committed ZZ gets. They then no, they then transition to NXT Rookie Orientation, where the group is welcomed by a video from Triple H, and you see a lot of the Tough Enough people in there. Obviously, Sarah Lee and Josh. You also see Patrick in there, and Asuka. Asuka's in that class as well.
Amanda was in there as well.
Yep, Amanda.
Patrick actually was
Sammy's.
not in that class. Patrick was out there in the tryouts.
Oh, was he in the tryouts?
He was out there in the tryouts with everybody else, which was surprising to me that they made him go through tryouts again. Like they really wanted to freaking they really wanted to really make him prove himself.
Because I mean, the obvious is not good enough for you, right, Matt?
Yeah.
In the WWE. Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Bailey sit in front of the orientation class and kind of talk about what to expect, not be afraid to try new things. I mean, Bailey was just a simple, happy-go-lucky girl, and she turned into the persona that she has today. Tyler Breeze, he tried a couple of different things that didn't stick, and now look where he's at now. He's on the main roster. and see.
I would like to cut away from breaking ground for just a moment to point
Yes,
out
sir.
that the WWE Hall of Famer, the greatest announcer of all time, Jim Ross, agrees with my Survivor Series assessment.
My
Jim
God.
Ross tweets, would at WWE be so bold as to replicate a screw job at hashtag Survivor Series where the authority anoints their own WWE champion? To which some dumbass tweeted back at him, no, they did that with The Rock and Mankind in 98. To which Jim Ross replied, you mean 17 years ago? So, yeah,
I love
the
Jim Ross.
fact that Jim Ross is agreeing with me makes me all the more confident that this is how Survivor Series is going down.
And Jim Ross doesn't give a shit about what you smart marks have to say.
Boomer sooner up your ass.
Yeah.
We love you, Jim.
I wish you were back,
Yeah,
but you're probably happy. You're probably happier now.
yeah, he gets to go to his Oklahoma Sooner games every weekend.
They go back to the tryouts, and there's a guy named Cream Cheese, apparently.
I think that was just the nickname for him. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think it
know.
was really.
Regal just called him Cream Cheese.
Oh, I
Speaking of
thought Bloom
Regal,
was calling him cream cheese.
maybe they both might have been. Who knows?
Regal,
Yeah,
No,
Bloom doesn't have.
Regal was getting too pissy over footwork to come up with nicknames for anybody.
Yeah, so the people in tryouts having trouble with their footwork. Basically, you do a roll, and you got to put your left foot forward, but apparently that was tough. And Regal getting real fired up about that. He was a little pissed off. Uh, Day 3 now for the tryouts. It's time to do some promos in front of the camera. Some were good, some were really bad. It's like, have you talked in front of people at all ever in your life? Some of those people didn't look like it. I mean, they were legit intimidated completely. It's like, what are you doing here? This is a part of the business. So, uh, and then Canyon calls out a guy for a false promo. This guy was talking about how he wanted this all his life, and he's been training all his life for this moment. And Canyon's like, we met a few months ago, and you've never had any wrestling training, and you still didn't after we met. Yeah, Matt, that's probably a ticket out the door, don't you think?
Probably.
Yeah, go to CZW or something. A lady impresses both Regal and Canyon for being real and emotional, talking about her real life there. And then they all meet to say yay or nay about the tryout guys. And once the list is checked and double checked, then they will send it off to Triple H for final approval for those to get signed to the performance center. Then once again, Matt is getting proven right as they show ZZ's inability to take things seriously with the drills, from putting on his helmet to doing a roll 3 feet from the turnbuckle,
Fucking moron.
which further goes to say that Matt's probably right. They brought him back just to fire him
I
again.
really think they did. I think they wanted to humiliate him.
Were
I
you?
think WWE was so humiliated that he got to the finals of Tough Enough that they want to humiliate him right back
Yeah.
with their own dose of their own unique form of medicine. I
Here's our
really think
reality.
WWE is a vindictive company like that. I really and truly do. I
No,
really
Vince is
do.
not vindictive.
Yeah, I know. I'm breaking ground here, JB.
He just signed Billy Graham to a Legends contract. He's not vindictive. Hashtag sarcasm. Hashtag end sarcasm. And
Hashtag
the
punch you
end
in
of
the
the show.
face for mentioning Billy Graham again.
2 words for you. Billy Graham.
Bite me.
Now, was it? It's kind of weird how they were showing ladies taking one of these bumps from Nia Jax in the ring, where she's grabbing him by the neck and spinning him around and then letting him go. And Dana Brooke kind of felt uncomfortable with the move, and they kind of brought what a surprise to me was they're saying that she's kind of plateaued in her training.
I think it's just a story that they're telling.
Drama.
Yeah, I think it's nothing more than that. I think they're looking to create drama for the show. Anybody anybody who's wrestling with regularity on the NXT television show has not plateaued in their training, or they wouldn't be on that show. So
And we were just here saying at Takeover how fucking great Dana Brooke
yeah,
was. So, and of course, that was might have been filmed before the Oscar match because Oscar was in the
you're very
orientation.
well
So,
could you very well could be correct there. That
yeah.
match that taping could very well have been before the NXT Takeover last event.
All right. So, breaking ground 2 weeks in. We love it. We love it. We'll talk about week 3 next week
Love
on
it,
Lost in the
love it, love it.
Matt, this week in pro wrestling, I'm going to start off with some trivia for you here. At Budokan Hall in Tokyo, Japan, this week in 1990, Jushin Thunder Liger defeats the Pegasus Kid to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title for the third time for Liger. Does the Pegasus Kid ring a bell to you?
Yes.
Hmm. Never forget 2004 Royal Rumble. Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit. Bork Laser. In some some Bret Hart news, and this week in 1997, WWE WWF World Heavyweight Champion Bret Hart gave us notice to the World Wrestling Federation, and that he signed a contract with World Championship Wrestling, which led to a screw job at Survivor Series, and we may see a screw job again, Matt, right? Good old
I'm
JR.
banking on it.
In this week in 2007, WWE released Diva Brooke Adams, and she was 1/3 of the Extreme Expose Dance team on ECW. Now, is this the current Brooke that's TNA Knockout Champion, or most recently was?
Yes, you would know her as Brooke Tessmacher, former TNA Knockouts champion and number one most annoying women's wrestler tweeter on the planet Earth.
But that ass, though,
Dude, I don't give a damn. Her tweets are so fucking annoying. It's a complete and utter turn off to me.
I
She
don't
is
follow her.
so. I unfollowed her. She's so
Why?
fucking.
Why were they
She's
annoying?
dude. She's so fucking annoying on Twitter. She's
How so?
dude. I can't. I don't even want. I don't even want to get into it. Just
All right.
if
This
you want
week
if
in
you want to scroll over
1992,
her timeline,
I'm
you can
trying to move
imagine
on.
how annoying she is. You were
Trying to
trying
move
to
on.
dig into the question, pal.
Well, I was just trying to understand why she's annoying, but
She's annoying.
this week in 1992, Jerry Lawler defeated Todd Champion in Memphis, Tennessee for the USWA Unified Heavyweight title. That started Lawler's 13th reign with the belt.
Ridiculous.
This week in 19 Hello Territories, right? This week in 1998 in Houston, Texas, Vince McMahon creates the WWF Hardcore Championship and awards it to Mankind. And ironically, Mankind would hold the title for less than a month and never win it back, but he's always associated with that title because he's the hardcore legend. Bang, bang! Some fun hardcore championship facts here for you. Big Boss Man has the longest reign at 97 days. Raven had the most title reigns at 27. Steve Blackman had the most combined days as champion at 172. And Rob Van Dam was the last one to hold the title in a unification match with the Intercontinental Championship.
Tommy, it was a match with Tommy Dreamer.
Yep. This week in 1998, Jesse the Body Ventura, running as an independent candidate on Reform Party tickets, defeats Hubert Humphrey III and Norm Coleman to become governor of Minnesota. And
He shocked
and
the world, bitches.
and he changed his name to Jesse the Mind Ventura. And now he's a conspiracy theory nut. He calls into a local radio show every couple of months or so. Uh, he's a good conversation to listen to, but he's a nut. He thinks the government has got fluoride in the water for mind control. So he has his own well. He doesn't drink the tap water.
Dude, all I know is he was in the government for quite a while, and he might know things that all of us, honestly, we probably don't want to know.
He was only in there. He only did one term. He only wanted.
Yeah, but it's still long enough.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I wouldn't, dude. I wouldn't go as far as to say as there are some things going on in the government that we probably really don't want to know about.
But do you think there's fluoride in the water for mind
I
control?
don't freaking know.
He also thinks 9/11 was a an inside job too. Yeah. This week in 2007, one of the great women in World Wrestling Federation, the Fabulous Moolah, passed away at the age of 84. She was active from her debut in 1947 until her death in 2007, spanning 60 years. She was a four-time WWF Women's Champion, a five-time NWA Women's Champion, and a two-time NWA Women's Tag Team Champion, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1995, the WWE Hall of Fame, that is. In This Week in 2011, Bobby Roode captured the TNA Championship during a broadcast of Impact Wrestling, defeating James Storm. And it was his first world title reign in TNA, and lasted for 256 days until Austin Aries defeated him.
It was a criminally short title reign for James Storm. No wonder why he doesn't want to work for you anymore, Dixie. Dumb
Yeah,
bitch.
I should have looked at what his reign
Dude, it was
was
like 2 or
before.
3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it might even have been shorter than that. It was really short.
This week in 2012, Dragon Gate USA ran their Uprising pay-per-view, and I don't know if this is on YouTube or not, but this would be a fun one to watch. 2 out of 3 falls between El Generico and Sami Callihan, which are known today in NXT as Sami Zayn and
Solomon Crow.
Solomon Crow. And Callahan went over Jericho in the 2 out of 3s fall, or Jericho. Callahan went over Generico in the 2 out of 3 falls match. I want to try to find that. I think that might be I bet that's probably a very entertaining match. This week in 2013, Chaz Betts, a member of the 2012 United States Olympic team in Greco-Roman wrestling, announced he signed a WWE deal, and you now know him as one of the most popular stars at NXT, Chad Gable. And in This Week in 1988, John Carpenter's film They Live, featuring Roddy Piper in his first starring role in a feature film, is released, and the film would go on to gross $5 million in the first 3 days, finishing first for the weekend in 1988. And I assume you've seen They Live, Matt. And
I own it on DVD, sir.
I'm gonna get it on. They have a special Blu-ray edition I want to get here eventually too. But a great little film for '88 there. This weekend in 2002, Batista made his televised debut on Raw in Boston, Mass, defeating Justin Credible with a powerbomb. And a couple of ECW notes this week in 1994. November to Remember was held in Philly. And this was most famously known for the main event between Chris Benoit and Sabu, where Chris Benoit earns his Crippler nickname by breaking the neck of Sabu. And then they brought out Too Cold Scorpio for an impromptu match, since Sabu obviously couldn't continue.
Too cold.
But
Scorpio.
yeah, that's where Benoit got his Crippler nickname from crippling poor Sabu. High backdrop is what happened. It landed right on his head. Ugh. And in 2000, ECW had their last November to Remember pay-per-view in Villa Park, Illinois, where my man Steve Corino won a double Jeopardy match to win his one and only ECW World Heavyweight title in a match against Jerry Lynn, Sandman, and Just Incredible. Matt, are you familiar with the double Jeopardy rules?
I'm not.
At all?
I don't remember.
It's
I don't
a pretty
remember
interesting.
them.
It's a pretty interesting concept, actually. It's a 4-man match, and but basically it's 2 versus 2, or it's 1-on-1 in 2 different sets. I think it was Sandman and Corino that faced off, and Credible and Lynn. Any of the 4 men could beat up on any of the other guys, but only like Corino could only pin Sandman, and Lynn could only pin Credible, such as which. And so once those pinfalls are made, then you get your 2 guys, and they have a 1-on-1 match to finish it off. And so in that one, Corino defeating Just Incredible to get his one and only ECW title match. All right, let's finish off the show with NXT and a little WWE 2K16. First off, NXT, we start off with Asuka I love me some Asuka. And look who's back, Matt. It's Cameron.
Girl, bye.
What did you think of Cameron's return?
She looked better than that match than she did in her entire stay on the main roster.
Agreed. And at least when she did the split leg drop for a pin, the wrestler wasn't on her stomach. Remember that one with
Of
Naomi?
course, who doesn't remember that?
And
But
Cameron's yelling at the referee, "Why aren't you counting?" Because she's not on her fucking shoulders, Cameron. But yes, she looks a lot better. And but how about when Asuka had Cameron's foot and she gently set it down? And how badass was when Cameron tried to go for a punch and she put on that armbar? That was fucking awesome. I love me some Asuka. Asuka hits a bunch of rear views on Cameron to mock Naomi, I guess. But in the end, the Asuka lock is on Cameron. Girl, bye. Asuka gets a win. They announced that Dash and Dawson are gonna be in line for the tag team title match against the Vaudevillains next week on NXT. So, and they did a little promo with Tom Phillips, and then they cut to Gable and Jordan, and Jordan says people are talking about them from Takeover, but they're not where they want to be yet. And Gable says, "Don't worry, we're still going upwards." And pretty soon, people are going to be calling us the world's greatest tag out. What did we say?
I love that line.
Oh God, can we get Benjamin and Haas back to NXT to feud with these guys? I mean, please. Would that be
It
good?
would be
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool, but I don't see it happening.
I just thought it was interesting that they kind of did that. I loved
Well,
it.
it's
Jason's.
because everybody's comparing them to them. So I mean, the fact that they allowed them to acknowledge it, I thought was good.
Uh huh. And they decide to continue to prove themselves. They're going to call out the longest reigning NXT Tag Champs, or as we call the doormat of the tag team division on the main roster, the Ascension. So
Oh, oh,
I don't know if
oh.
that's next week or not, but if it is, you know that they're going to be ready. You know they're going to be willing, and Matt, finish it off for me.
Nope,
Matt, come on,
nope,
come on, Matt,
nope.
come on. We talked about this.
Nope.
How long are you going to drag this out before you finally say
Nope.
it? You know they're going to be ready. You know they're going to be willing. And
Hungry?
yeah, feed me more. Game ball!
What?
Okay, there we
What?
go. What? Bull
I'm
Dempsey.
not familiar with this gimmick.
It's time for Bullfit.
Oh, Bullfit. I know about Bullfit.
Bullfit's got a new theme. Got
Yeah,
some new themes.
I'm not sure I'm feeling the new theme.
I like the bull. I like that one a lot better too. I agree. Angelo Dawkins from Dawkins and Fulton, one of my favorite prospect tag teams. Of course, Angelo is the better of the two at this point, but uh, pretty good. But overall, just kind of a squash match for Bull Dempsey. But it looks like the tag team that I'm loving looks like there's a little dissension as Fulton looked a little disgusted and walked away after Dawkins got the pin. So
He hated your face.
yeah, Lily Sawyer favorites all my tweets though, so that's good.
I guess because no one else tweets about them.
I like the tag team,
They're
man.
fine.
Of course, I
They're
like.
fine. They're just I don't have a man crush on them like you do.
God, I think I kind of I'd like to see them team up or go against Gable and Jordan. But backstage, Tom Phillips catches up with the Vaudevillains and shows them the wheelchair that Dawson and Wilder had left for them, and they cut a little promo saying that they are men and these two behemoths are not. And so we get that tag team title match next week. And then Tom Phillips is backstage talking to Bayley. And last week, Alexa Bliss had challenged Bayley to find two partners for a 6-person mixed tag match. And who did they find? The Hype Bros. You like that choice?
Yeah, it works. I don't have any problem with it.
I
Anytime Zack Ryder gets TV time where he's not treated like a glorified jobber is all right in my book.
I loved how I liked how they interacted. Bailey interacted with the Hype Bros, and the Hype Bros got a lot of energy. Next up, Eva Marie, fresh off of her Paris vacation, takes on a blonde girl that the crowd knew who it was, but the announcers kind of forgot to mention who it was, Matt.
Yeah, because I don't think they're ready to debut her character. They did the same thing with the Aussie girls. They
Yeah.
had them out there in squash matches for the first month or two, and then
I
they
thought they at least said their names,
no,
though.
dude, they didn't, and then they have eventually debuted their characters and their gimmicks. This is Giovanni Daddio, I believe her name is.
Yeah, okay.
And that's who it was. She's like, "Who's your daddy-o" on Twitter, I believe.
The NXT universe knew who she
Yeah,
was.
of course, and that's just the way it's gonna be until they're ready to give her a gimmick. They're not gonna hurt her by saying, "Hey, this is blah blah blah." And watch her get squished by freaking Eva Marie. They want to wait until it's time to do something with her to properly introduce her to the universe.
I was still kind of on the average side of the fence with Eva Marie's performance. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate
It
it.
wasn't awful, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah, it looks like they've
It was
gone.
just kind of there.
She hit a flatliner type move, so she must be moving away from the old Kendrick finisher.
Yeah, I think she's better off keeping the Kendrick finisher because her new finisher did not look good at all.
Uh, Miss Daddio though, I think she's got some promise.
Yeah, no, I definitely
So
think she does.
well,
She's a
since they
Jersey girl that likes pizza. I mean, is there anything wrong with? There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
well, since they fired Devin Taylor and then showed it publicly on the ground of
Don't
breaking.
worry, Zizi's coming.
Tom Phillips gets a lot of TV time because they had a lot of interviews. This time, Tom Phillips is interviewing Emma and Dana Brooke backstage, and Tom asks if Emma's scared of Asuka. She says, no, she's not. And they both say how they respect Asuka, but Emma says, well, Dana Brooke wants another shot, and Emma says, well, she has to wait because she's going to show Asuka what it's all about, meaning she's going to eat an Asuka lock. Thank you for coming. It is main event time. NXT title match: Finn Balor, Apollo Crews, and these two put on a hell of a show. Um, this is pretty much the first main event spot for Apollo, and the first kind of real challenge for Apollo. And I thought I thought he excelled. You agree, Matt?
No, absolutely, he's gotten better.
Mm-hmm. But lo and behold, as we get about 15 minutes into the match starting to ramp up, and Baron Corbin
The
comes in and
dick.
interrupts the asshole of NXT. Baron Corbin interrupts, beating down Apollo Crews, calling the DQ.
Remember when we had
And
Dick Ryback? Or no, we now have legitimate Dick Corbin. Because
yeah,
unlike Ryback, who really isn't a dick, Baron Corbin is legitimately 100% a dick.
can we call him Brock Corbin just because he doesn't like people?
I don't want to compare him to Brock Lesnar. That's my only issue.
I'm not comparing him to Brock Lesnar. I'm just calling him Brock Corbin.
Well, what do you think that does then?
I'm comparing him to the personality, not the in-ring accolades. Anyways, so Corbin then turns his attention to Finn Balor, and Finn Balor's good buddy Samoa Joe comes out to save the day. And so Baron Corbin is backing his way back up the ramp, and then we get the all too long in-ring segment of Joe staring down Corbin. We all knew it was coming sooner or later, and this segment just drew out where Joe was staring up the ramp so long. We all knew it was happening, right, Matt?
Oh yeah, I read the spoilers weeks ago.
They kind of telegraphed it though at the end, but still, Joe turns heel. The NXT Universe chants, "Why Joe? Why?"
Because they didn't give him a
And
fucking title shot. Fuck you,
mm-hmm,
William Regal. That's what Samoa Joe says.
yep. And Joe yells to Finn Balor right before he hits the Muscle Buster, "I did this to you." I wonder if he said that to Hideo Itami as well in the parking lot. Hmm.
Look, here's the way it is. Joe tried to be a nice guy to get his title shot. Didn't work. So now he's gonna be the dick to get his title shot. So
A lot of dicks running around
or
here.
hey, it is what it is.
And Johnny Manziel throws a pass out of the end zone. Oh, sorry. I was
Are
calling
you kidding me right now?
I was calling play-by-play for the football
That's the
game. It's
wrong play-by-play, sir.
good NXT though. And Joe's a bad guy now. Maybe the Beatdown Clan will show up. I'm just kidding. Let's wrap up the show with a little NXT talk, Matt, or NXT WWE 2K16 talk. You've had another week with the game. What do you have? What thoughts do you have so far, as you've played a little more of the game so far?
I thought his 2K needs to fix their damn servers. That's for sure. The community creation problems that they're suffering from this year are disgusting. I'm really tired
Did
of
you?
trying. I'm trying. When you try to download a character with multiple paint tools, instead of it just downloading all at once, like every other year is done, they attempt to download the character in each paint tool piece by piece. And if the
Oh,
servers aren't working properly, all it does is download the character, and it doesn't download any of the damn paint tools. So you take it into the freaking create mode, and everywhere where the paint tools are supposed to be are the characters just blacked out, or they
oh
reuse the
boy.
logos that you already have on your game, so it looks absolutely funky as hell. And it's a really bad glitch that they really need to get out, because I love downloading people's creative stuff
Oh yeah.
online, and right now it's really fucked up because 2K can't keep their server shit straight.
Yeah, there's a lot of creative people out there that do hella work on wrestlers that aren't in the game, but not even just that, but like ring atmospheres and stuff, the arenas,
Yep.
and yeah. Have you done much online play? Has that been okay? Or
Online's I won't say it's perfect, but online play is much better this year than it was last year. That's for damn sure.
some reason 2K and servers don't mesh well. Just ask the NBA fans. I don't know why.
Sad but
Uh,
true.
anything in terms of gameplay that has stood out to you as time has gone on?
There's a lot of stuff on the gameplay. I wrote a very long, in-depth article at www.simuverse.com that talks about the submission system, the new pin meter, the reverse stuff like that. It's a lot to discuss. So if you guys want to go take a read on that, just head over to www.simuverse.com, and if we can, we'll put a link up to the article on our Facebook page, so you can easily find that after listening to the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, definitely. Remind me after the show, Matt. We'll get that up there as well. I've read the article. Very good insight into breaking down everything with 2K. Right now, Metacritic is sitting at about a 79. Do you agree on that, or you think it's a little low? Or
I'm honestly surprised it scored that high.
Mhm.
Because the majority of people that review these games aren't wrestling fans, so they kind of bury it. If I had to give it a score right now, this would be me without. I have not played Universe yet because I'm waiting for the patch to fix the title matches in Universe, and I haven't touched Showcase. So what I've done online, my career exhibition, the created stuff, I would give the game probably around an 8.5 out of
Mhm.
10. Definitely better than last year, which I probably would have given like a 4 or 5 out of 10. So it's much better than last year, leaps and bounds improvement. But they still got a ways to go.
I've played a little bit of the Stone Cold Showcase, and it's not earth shattering, but at the same time,
Is
it's
it glass
it's
shattering?
psh, and but it's been a solid mode. So, but so far, I haven't really seen anything kind of new or innovative in it. But it's still kind of cool to go back. I
Yeah,
still
I
wish
don't think I
it.
don't think you're gonna be more innovative in that mode at all.
Yeah, I just wish they would have started at the abs. I wish they would have just started at the Sportatorium with Austin and did stuff that we've never seen, or the general, the general public may have never seen with Stone Cold. That's my only gripe on it. But good game overall. Like I said, Metascore right now on PS4 is a 79. The users give it a 7.6 right now, and on Amazon they've given it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's about 60 votes as well. So once we dig into some more, we'll definitely talk about it. Any updates, anything like that, we'll pass it along to you. And like Matt said, we'll get his write up up there on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. And so that'll do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. And again, thanks to spiderduck.net. We're on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Just go to our Facebook page. Is a note section where you can get both of those links, that and our YouTube account, and subscribe and know when we got a new show coming your way. And before we close up the show, Matt, any final words?
This Monday's gonna be really interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
let's wait and see what happens.
Keep an eye out for any news that breaks, and if there's anything out there, might be tomorrow, may not be till Monday. So we'll see what happens and where they're going to go from here. They're in a tough spot, so hopefully maybe that gets the creative juices flowing. For Matt on the Twitter at RawFShowtime, I am Jeremy on the Twitter at JBHuskers. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.